The women's 400 meters hurdles in Lucerne delivered one of the most dramatic races of the season before the athletes even reached the first hurdle. In this video, we break down the shocking false start controversy involving Alice Morero, the tense restart that completely changed the atmosphere inside the stadium, and the incredible performance of Lena Nielsen as she attacked the race from the opening meters. We'll analyze the pacing, the hurdle technique, the pressure on athletes like Naomi van den Broeck and Alanah Yukich, and the key moments that turned this into one of the most intense one-lap hurdle races of the year.
Naomi van den Broeck of Belgium takes lane 6. And the Belgium Cheetahs 4x4 squad that have made so many global finals and finally the European bronze in Rome last year. Lena Nielsen takes lane 5. She broke Nicole Jurgen's national indoor 300-meter record. Great flat races over the last few weeks, and the hurdling is improving. She's down to 54.66 so far. Alanah Yukich of Australia goes in lane 4. Personal best in Memphis on Saturday. It's a lot of travel to get from Memphis to Switzerland. She was second at the national championships this year behind Sarah Carlin. Alice Morero of Italy is there in lane 2. There we go, they've got a camera on her. The World University Games bronze medalist was close to breaking 8 seconds indoors for the 60-meter hurdles. She's done a 100-meter hurdles personal best this year, so we know the speed is there. What can Morero do here over the full lap? So just 6 athletes. The empty lanes 1 and 2. Those tight lanes are hard, whatever sprint you're doing, particularly in the hurdles. So the meeting record, 53.63 from Geneve Russell, has stood since 2018. The World Championship qualifying mark for this year for Tokyo, 54.65. So Nielsen just 100th off that so far this season. She's the only woman under 55 in this year, so we could see the Brit dominate from lane 5.
Set.
Ooh, I think that could have been perhaps Yukich. Just a bit of a twitch in the blocks. That's just my first instincts there from watching it the first time. I'm not sure whether we'll get a replay. Morero making her way off to the side, but I wonder if that's just for a swig of water. Well, if it is Eileen Demes, I think she could definitely claim crowd interference. Look at those spectators leaning over the barrier, almost in her face. Great to see these small tracks here. We've got a big stand on the home straight here in Lucerne. You can see that in the background, but so much of the other spectators' spaces standing room only. And there is a red card coming out. What a shame here. One of these 6 women. And is going to Alice Morero. Going to have a discussion here. Have a look over at the computer, Alice Morero, and you can see on my system here from my commentary position, she's been credited with 0.04, nowhere near to the 0.1 limit for reaction time. Well under it. Morero, just not sure at all, and I think it's hard to just see some figures. Great if Morero could perhaps see a replay alongside that. She's not kind of associating her experience with that reaction time. We'll have a look here at the replay for us. It's a quick movement there from Alice Morero. She's one of the athletes that moves first. That's such a shame for Morero. Each of these races are so important for the athletes. being a Continental Tour Silver event, get an opportunity to run and then potentially have it taken away from you. There is a discussion going on here and a shuffling of the cards. I'm not sure what's going to go on here, whether Morero is running under protest. It's come up as disqualified on the computer system. So apologies, I'm not sure what a red and white card means for Morero. Perhaps the indication of that red still being involved, that it's a run under protest for the Italian. So the other women there, they've had a 5 minute, well, not 5 minutes, few minutes, standing around and waiting. Go back to their blocks here. So Morero of Italy in lane 1, perhaps running under protest. Alanah Yukich of Australia goes in lane 4. Lena Nielsen, the fastest woman in the field, goes in lane 5. Naomi Broeck of Belgium in lane 6. Lena Vernley of Switzerland in lane 7. And Eileen Demes of Germany in 8. And no problems in the second start of the women's 4 hurdles. Good start from Morero, the Italian, on the inside, perhaps fired up with the adrenaline from that false start. Nielsen going well down the back straight, perhaps Lena Nielsen with an early lead, as you would expect, one of the fastest women in the field. They disappear over onto the back straight. It is Lena Nielsen with an early lead as they go through the halfway stage. And the athletes on the outside pushing each other well. Vernley and Demes, the Swiss and the German athlete, and Demes, the German athlete, just finding a burst of speed there as she hit the halfway point. Just stuttering now, the German, into that hurdle on the top end. Lena Nielsen will hope that this stagger unwinds with her in the lead, but it could be the German athlete, Eileen Demes, with a lead ahead of the Brit. They both take that barrier side by side, and Van der Broek of Belgium closing strongly as well. That's one hurdle left for these athletes. They drive, they sprint over the final 50 metres. Lena Nielsen just ahead of Naomi Van der Broek, 54.76. It is a clocking underneath at 55 seconds. Again for Lena Nielsen, she's done that a few times this season. Van der Broek, though, hasn't gone under 55, but I think there with that run, there it is, 54.78. That's a new lifetime best for the Belgian by a couple of hundredths. Eileen Demes, I wonder if she just tired over the last 100 metres. It's hard when you're out in lane 8 and you haven't got other athletes to gauge your pace from. And Lena Nielsen felt like she was aggressive, she was good over the first 150. Had to fight for it in the last 100 metres. You see Demes stuttering into that penultimate barrier, fighting hard to regain that momentum, but at this stage in the race when you're full of lactic, that's pretty hard. Lena Nielsen holding her form well there in the last 50 metres. Good win for Lena Nielsen. No easy way to do a 4 hurdles. Pretty much an event that will always put you on the floor afterwards. Those are results, 54.74 for Lena Nielsen. Naomi Van der Broek, personal best, 54.78. Eileen Demes, 55.39, holding on for third place.
The women's 400-metre hurdles in Lucerne developed into far more than a standard one-lap hurdle race. What unfolded was a competition shaped by psychological disruption, technical discipline, and the ability to maintain composure under chaotic circumstances. Even before the gun officially started the race, the event had already become emotionally charged, creating a tense atmosphere that influenced every athlete on the track. The first major moment came before the restart, involving Alice Morero of Italy. The World University Games bronze medalist appeared to react slightly in the blocks, triggering the electronic false start system. What immediately caused controversy was the recorded reaction time of 0.04 seconds. A number so low that it effectively suggested movement before the gun itself. Since the legal limit in sprint events is 0.10 seconds, the system automatically issued a red card. However, the reaction inside the stadium revealed immediate uncertainty. Morero herself looked stunned, clearly believing she had not anticipated the start illegally. Officials spent several minutes reviewing the situation, while athletes remained standing near their blocks, forced to manage rising tension and disrupted concentration. In hurdle races, where rhythm and emotional control are essential, such interruptions can become extremely influential. The eventual decision to allow Morero to run under protest fundamentally changed the psychological landscape of the race. Instead of entering the event with clear focus, athletes were now forced to reset mentally after an emotionally draining delay. Some competitors handle interruptions effectively, others struggle to recover the precise emotional balance required for a one-lap hurdles race, where pacing and rhythm are extraordinarily delicate. When the race finally began, Lena Nielsen immediately imposed authority. Her opening phase reflected exactly why she has become one of the most consistent sub-55-second hurdlers this season. Nielsen's race model is built around controlled aggression. Unlike athletes who conserve energy early, she attacks the first 200 meters decisively, trusting her rhythm between barriers and relying on technical efficiency to maintain momentum. From the opening hurdles, her mechanics stood out clearly. Her stride pattern remained compact and balanced, allowing her to approach barriers without hesitation. In the 400-meter hurdles, hesitation before takeoff is often fatal because it interrupts speed maintenance and destroys rhythm. Nielsen avoided this entirely through the first half of the race. Each clearance appeared fluid, with minimal vertical movement and strong forward projection after landing. Outside of her, Naomi van den Broek attempted to remain connected through the backstretch. Van den Broek approached the race differently from Nielsen. Rather than matching the British athlete's aggression early, she focused on preserving technical stability through the middle phases. This distinction in strategy became one of the key tactical elements of the race. Meanwhile, athletes like Germany's Eileen Dems and Switzerland's representatives faced a different challenge entirely: maintaining composure amid rapidly escalating pace. The 400-meter hurdles punishes athletes who panic early. Once stride rhythm breaks down, recovery becomes nearly impossible because every subsequent hurdle arrives under increasing fatigue. Nielsen's dominance through the opening 200 meters created immediate pressure on the field. Her commitment to the race was obvious. She was not running conservatively for positioning. She was attempting to establish complete control before the final bend. This approach carries risks because the 400-meter hurdles is rarely won in the first half. Athletes who overcommit early often experience dramatic collapse over the final 100 meters as lactate accumulation destroys coordination. What made Nielsen's performance impressive was her ability to maintain technical discipline even as fatigue increased. Many hurdlers begin reaching awkwardly for barriers in the second half of the race. Nielsen instead maintained relatively stable stride geometry, allowing her to continue attacking hurdles rather than merely surviving them. However, the race also demonstrated how the event remains deeply unpredictable. The final bend became the critical phase where physical preparation intersected with emotional resilience. Athletes who survived the pre-race controversy mentally now had to handle the brutal physiological demands unique to the event. By hurdle 7 and hurdle 8, the race transformed completely. Smooth sprint mechanics gave way to survival under extreme fatigue. Van den Broek's composure became increasingly important during this phase. While Nielsen controlled the race early, the Belgian athlete appeared determined not to lose contact psychologically. This matters enormously in championship-style hurdle races. Athletes who mentally concede before the final straight often fade dramatically. Van den Broek instead maintained pursuit, relying on efficient rhythm rather than emotional reaction. Another fascinating dimension of the race involved the emotional recovery required after the false start controversy. Athletes train extensively for physical scenarios, but rarely for situations where concentration is interrupted minutes before maximum performance. Nielsen's ability to restart emotionally without visible hesitation revealed considerable competitive maturity. Her focus after the delay remained remarkably stable, suggesting confidence in both her preparation and racing identity. For Morero, the situation was particularly difficult. Running under protest creates unusual psychological pressure because the athlete competes while uncertainty about eligibility remains unresolved. Even if physically prepared, mental distraction becomes unavoidable. Every hurdle requires concentration, and any fragmentation in focus can compromise timing between barriers. The broader significance of the Lucerne race extends beyond times alone. It highlighted how the women's 400-meter hurdles continues evolving into one of the most technically demanding events in athletics. Modern hurdlers are no longer simply sprinters capable of clearing barriers. They must combine speed endurance, spatial precision, emotional control, and tactical pacing within a single lap. Nielsen's performance reinforced her growing reputation as one of Europe's most reliable one-lap hurdlers. Her aggressive opening, technical confidence, and ability to preserve rhythm under fatigue demonstrated why she continues progressing toward the elite international level. At the same time, competitors like Van den Broek showed the importance of composure and disciplined execution in races where emotional volatility can easily destroy structure. Ultimately, the Lucerne women's 400-meter hurdles delivered a rare combination of controversy and quality. The pre-race confusion surrounding Morero injected tension before the athletes even began running. The restart demanded psychological resilience from the entire field. And once the race unfolded, it became a showcase of modern hurdling under pressure, a contest where rhythm, courage, and emotional control mattered just as much as raw speed.